Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for a purpose, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
What is up, everybody? I know we usually do an after intro, but aren't you just kind of tired of hearing Pete Carroll right now? So we're just gonna.
I'm a little tired. I'm tired of playing that one clip.
Oh yeah,
I'm tired of playing that clip, but you know how I am.
No Joe Pesci today. It's a very special episode because we have a Raider legend, Raider alumni, or alumnus.
Raider great. We'll just call him
Raider great. Raider great. Jerry Robinson. Before we bring him to the stage, of course, we're gonna go straight into it. Everyone's favorite video subject segment. It is the CMN News Asylum. Let's get ready to play that. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
This is CMN, a cage match news update.
Hello, this is Asylum Burgundy at the Al Davis News Desk for your cage match news update. I don't know how to feel about this one. Of course, we lost again. What else is new? And the Raiders couldn't tackle. Yup, seems about right. But there were some wins in this game. Well, for starters, right now we currently hold the second pick. Another small victory. We finally got to see a different quarterback other than Geno Smith. Look at that beautiful pass. Perfection. And this could be considered a victory for some, as this set of crazy events, including this delay of game penalty on Denver, resulted in a meaningless field goal to cover the 7.5 spread. Other people were very skeptical on Pete Carroll's decision.
That's the worst beat of all time. And you have to investigate the Raiders. Investigate the Raiders. What are they doing? What the fuck? That's the worst beat of all time. That is cheating. Pete Carroll should be in fucking prison. Prison for Pete Carroll. Prison. The spread's 8.5. They spiked the ball, by the way. They ran up and spiked it as a tempo. Prison Pete Carroll. Murder Pete Carroll. I want Pete Carroll murdered. They call a delay a game with 4 seconds. They weren't even, the game was over. The game was over. What the hell? And then they run out the field goal unit, kick a field goal with no time left. Prison!
That's why gambling is bad, and I don't condone the practice of, what's that? Wah! Nothing to see here. Don't bring out my winnings while I'm doing a PSA on gambling. Now I look like a jackass. Haha, sorry, that was my accountant bringing me my Christmas bonus. Let's move on and forget about it. Let's make sure Gino is ready for this shade. Okay, how did Kenny Pickett finally get playing time over Geno Smith? Well, it was this hit that injured his shoulder and took him out the game. But the injury we saw happened a drive earlier. It happened on a sack. And it's ironic this injury that caused him the most discomfort was to his fingers. On the following home game after this finger, karma! Do you know what the current record of the Kansas City Chiefs are now?
6-7! Oh my god! So fucking funny!
Nothing gets my chestnuts roasting than to see the Chiefs implode in December. But also to see Rashi Rice in a high-speed collision. If you know, you know. Karma! We never forgot when Derek Carr was having an MVP season in 2016, but then broke his leg against the Colts from a sack and killing our Christmas. Well, 10 seasons later, the Colts were riding high with their quarterback Daniel Jones until he suffered an apparent non-contact Achilles injury which killed their playoff hopes in the month of Christmas. Karma! The Colts did in fact call Derek Carr to come out of retirement to step in, which he declined. But then they turned to an old favorite in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who retired 5 years ago. Of course, we have the exclusive footage of his workout.
On the count of 3. 3. Let's rock.
That's it for me. I need to go Christmas shopping. Hey, where did that girl go with my money? I have bets to make.
1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Without further karma. Yeah, there. See, I see what you did there. What's up, Homer? All right. Without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour. Asylum, can you please roll out that red carpet as we get ready for this interview that we can't wait to do? Here we go, Asylum. Let's get that going. 1, 2, 3, go.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
What is up? You like my cadence, right?
With the legend.
Hey, man. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you just
Of
fine.
course you can. You know how to do that. That cage match news, man, you guys are hilarious. This is some awesome stuff here. I mean, these intros and the highlights and You had me dying over here, man. Karma. Okay. All right. Karma. Yeah, I believe in karma.
But did you see Carr? Derek
Yeah, I
Carr.
got it. Yeah, I know. I saw the car. Yeah.
All right. Welcome, Jerry Robinson, linebacker. First, I want to say, though, happy early birthday. Your birthday is December 18th. My sister has the same birthday. My sister has the same birthday, so that's a very special date for me, too. So I want to make sure.
She must be pretty talented, man.
Yes.
Yes.
More talented than he is. We just don't tell him that, though.
Okay.
I taught her everything she knows, okay? So, big brother, okay? Anyways, all righty. Where do we start? Asami, you want to start or should I start?
You can start. I mean, I got questions. You let's start. You got facts you want to put, or your stats you want to put out there. Let's get the stats out there before we start with the questions.
Let's get the stats out there before we get the stats, because I got to lead into the stats. You were actually born in the Bay Area, from what I read, San Francisco, but then also said the Marin County area. Try to do a lot of research.
Yeah, you know, you did your research. Yeah, actually, I was born in San Rafael, actually, and I lived in a city called Marin City, and then we moved to Santa Rosa when I was a little kid, and that's when I became a Raider fan.
And who from the Raiders at that time? Who was your idol from the Raiders?
Oh man, check it out. I'm 8 years old, man. My cousins were diehard Raider fans, man. And I lived in Santa Rosa now in Sonoma County, but that's where the Raiders training camp was at the El Rancho Tropicana. And an 8-year-old kid, man, just being driven over there to that complex with the black screens around the gates and stuff and the fences, and got a chance to see, you know, Daryl LaMonica, Kenny Stabler, Coach Madden, Otis Sistrunk, and just everybody, man, Jack Tatum and Willie Brown, and just I was born into the Raider family, so it's gonna always be that way. So I loved all of them. And what I loved about it as a little kid, man, they were so friendly and polite to the for us, the young people, man, and they were always available to do this and that. And one thing I want to say is that the Raider organization has always, when they were in Oakland, LA, back to Oakland, and even in Las Vegas, they've always brought the community in. They've always been a program, an organization that involved, the people in the cities that they were at. And I mean, it's right now, there's people still telling stories about the Raiders being here at El Rancho Tropicana, but I can't tell any of those stories because I just can't tell them.
Well, there's a book out there that actually tells a lot of those stories. It's oh god damn it, the Black and Silver something another, that goes in depth about a lot of those stories.
Well, I tell you what, I've heard a couple stories. I gotta say this, man. I'm like I said, I was born into this Raider family, and I'll always be part of it, man. And one of the great things that the Raider organization does, they take care of their alumni. They take better care of their alumni than any other sports team. We have wellness weekend, we have alumni weekend, and Mark makes sure that everybody's aware of things and the resources that they have for certain situations. It could be mentally, physical, financially, whatever it may be. And I love the part of just being able to go to the alumni weekend and wellness weekend and to a couple of Raider games, and do autographs and visit some suites and say hello to people. But the big fun and excitement of it is being around the old dudes, man, because there's not many older guys that are still around, if you know what I'm saying, But the younger kids that are alumni, they started hearing stories, I mean, I just came back from the last game, and Jim Plunkett had a birthday, so he invited me to the birthday dinner. And if people knew how funny Jim Plunkett really is, you guys listen to me. Jim Plunkett is one of the funniest people on the planet. He's good friends with George Lopez. And when he told me that, I was like, are you kidding me? So, and I mean, and earlier this year, he was actually on one of George Lopez's shows. And Jim Plunkett and I, we just go at it all the time, man. And then the stories we get to tell and things that we can't put into a book, really, but stories we can tell about incidences that happened either during training camp or during the season. And that's what I really enjoy about being part of this Raider organization, the Raider family, man. Like Mark says, once a Raider, always a Raider. And It's so
Yes.
true because I got friends that from other teams, that they play for other teams, and they don't. None of the other teams do anything that the Raiders do. So I'm proud to be a Raider alumni, man. And it's just because, like I said, I grew up as a kid getting the chance to watch like that video of the first video you had on, man. Oh my God, you guys fighting and hitting and this and that. I mean, I got to see that. I was part of that, and to be able to hang out with those guys and tell them stories about me being a little kid watching them play and this and that. And Punky gets a little upset because I said I was 10 years old when I first saw you play football, Jimmy. So but anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Okay, so let's real quick. You had a very
illustrious college career.
I was like very accoladable. That's not even a word. UCLA, 45 games played, 468 tackles that was accounted for, which I read that is, I don't know if it still is, but that did set the record for the most tackles in a college career in UCLA history. 4 interceptions, 262 interception yards, 3 defensive touchdowns, and those defensive touchdowns those defensive touchdown returns, 95 yards, 72 yards, and 69 yards. So
you were
a fast linebacker.
Well, okay, this is gonna be fun here. Okay, because I started out there as a tight end wide receiver, and I caught 2 passes as a tight end wide receiver, and they were both against Ohio State Buckeyes when I was a freshman. And I remember my coach Carl Peterson, who used to be the president of the Kansas City Chiefs and worked for the Philadelphia Eagles. I remember that next day we went to that film study, and he said, "Jerry, you ran the wrong pattern." I said, "It must have not have been the wrong pattern because I caught the ball. I was wide open." So I've had 2. But the thing about it is, back in the day, you had to win the Pac-8 in order to go to play in the Rose Bowl, and we'd beat USC. And in that 2-week period to get prepared for the Rose Bowl game, Coach Vermeil called me in his office, him and Lynn Stiles, the defensive coordinator. And Coach Vermeil sat me down. He said, "Jerry, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but as a wide receiver, you're like kind of dime a dozen." He said, "But I've seen you play defense before." He said, "I think within 2 weeks, you could possibly play in the Rose Bowl at inside linebacker." And I said, "What?" Okay, so I made that move. So within a 2-week period of getting prepared for the Rose Bowl, I did have two plays in the Rose Bowl as a linebacker. And so, but now imagine this, you guys. Come on now. I'm used to wearing sweatbands and stuff under my eyes and stuff like that, and the socks all nice and neat. Then I moved to start playing inside linebacker. I had to get a neck roll, and I had to get extra padding on my arms, on my butt, on my everywhere, man. So it was a big transition for me. But Coach Vermeil said, "You know what? I think you can revolutionize this position." So I believe in Coach Vermeil then. I still believe in him now, and made the transition. And I was fortunate enough to receive some of these awards. And but it was really weird though, man. Going from, like I said, catching passes and making sure your toes are down to taking on linemen that were, I was a 218-pound inside linebacker. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. But I was able to do it, and because of the techniques and fundamentals actually that I learned in high school. But everybody thought I was crazy. I had a good friend of mine.
Fundamentals important, kids. Fundamentals are important.
Well, that's the key to the whole thing. For me to be able to be fundamentally sound and disciplined and learning what I had to do when I was young, that's what makes the difference. I mean, fundamentals and technique will go a long ways. I mean, I'm living proof of it. It sounds crazy when you think about a linebacker weighing 218 pounds or 222 pounds playing in college and then playing 13 years in the NFL, when your average offensive lineman is 300 some pounds. So anyway, I'm proud of being able to overcome that. Someone said they tried to tell me, "You're gonna get killed, J. Rob. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you." I said, "You know what? You don't know what's inside of my heart. You just see what's outside of me." And I never gave up on that dream of actually one day being a professional athlete. And I tell these kids now, I tell people now, never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. And another thing about it, since we were rolling here, I like to tell these young kids that, you know what? There's going to always be somebody that's going to doubt you. They're going to doubt you. Some people don't want you to succeed because they're going to be jealous of you. I said they might even be some of your best friend. They might even be some family members. Some people just don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be better than them. And you got to realize that and never ever allow somebody to steal your joy. Don't allow somebody to take the joy away from you. You know what? And it's about never giving up on your dreams. And my dream came true the day I got drafted.
Speaking of getting drafted, there was an article where you turn around and saying, when it comes to draft day, it is the most stressful time, but most exciting time for a football player. But my question is, what was it like to be drafted by your college coach into professional football?
Let me tell you about that. So we, as UCLA Bruins, won the Pac-8 and went on, and we beat the #1 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin. And so, I've been hit in the head, you guys. So sometimes I forget my train of thought. So just,
it's okay.
On this show, I know I can do it. So the draft was this. Here you go. I was told by the New Orleans Saints that I was going to be the 10th person chosen in the draft. They flew me out there, man. I got some gumbo, got some, everything about New Orleans, saw a lot of good things. I was happy. I went to watch a basketball game while I was there in the Superdome, and there was a dude named Pete Marinovich. Yeah.
Is he related to Todd?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't think so. Anyway, so I was convinced that I was going to be the 10th person chosen in the draft. Now, this was before ESPN ever existed, so there was no big hoopla, no this and that. So I was in LA in my attorney's office, Marvin Demoff and Lee Steinberg. They were the two attorneys that I was dealing with. Marvin's from UCLA. So Jim Hill from CBS News in LA, he wanted to do something special. He wanted to have the camera there right at the moment the phone call came, and I picked up the phone. So I'm sitting there, and it was all by radio. You only found out by radio. That's how old I am. My black ass is really old. You had to find out by the radio. So the radio, they came to the 10th pick, and the radio, they said the New Orleans Saints, and I'm like, I'm getting excited. But they hadn't called me, though, but I'm getting excited. Pick Russell Erslaben, kicker from Texas. I'm like, what the hell? Then all of a sudden, I didn't know where I was going to go because that's what they said that they were going to do. And now all of a sudden, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 started going by in the first round. Now I'm looking at the board, and it's a lot of cold weather places, man. And I'm from native California, and I ain't thinking about no snow bunnies, snow plows, snow skis, snow nothing. So I'm waiting, and around the 18th pick, the phone rings. And I look at the phone, and Jim Hill hits the camera. They're rolling. I pick up the phone, and I say, "Oh, hi, Mom. No, I haven't been drafted yet." I said, "Can we get off the phone because said I love you." She said, "Okay, Pumpkin, go ahead." So anyway, the Rams had an opportunity to draft me, and they said that they would, but they picked another linebacker. And I'm like, oh man, I had my chance to stay in Los Angeles because at UCLA we played in the Coliseum. And all of a sudden I get a phone call at the 21st pick in the first round from Coach Vermeil, and he was so excited. He said, Jerry, you're the best athlete on the board. It's not that we need any linebackers, they drafted one before. And I told Mr. Toast, who was the owner at the time, said, this is the kid that we need to get. So I got that happen. When I say the ups and downs of it, it's so emotional because you're being told you're going to go here in this round, and first round, second round, that all makes a difference in financially and stuff like that too. And so I was all geared up to be the 10th person chosen. Then I wasn't 12, 15, 16, wasn't even 20th, but I was the 21st person chosen. So that roller coaster ride, that was something I had experienced. So when I got back to my apartment, I'll never forget this, because I was getting ready to jump on an airplane to fly out to Philadelphia to do an interview, a press conference. And I got a phone call, and I didn't recognize who it was, but I'm talking to somebody. Said, yeah, this is cousin so-and-so and so-and-so. Ruthie's kids on the third side of the family. I was like, who is this? Didn't even know who it was. can you help me? Can you? I got a little problem with my apartment. Can you help a brother out with a payment? I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this is, man. I'm like, what is this going on? So then my mom called, and I was in tears, man. I was excited. One side of it, I was excited, but the other side of it, I was the unknown. And she said, Pumpkin, why are you crying? I said, Mom, I've never been that far away from you and Dad. And at the time I was in high school, I got to back up here. My senior year, my brother Jackie, the only brother I had in my whole life, he got shot in the head the day after my birthday, December 19th. And that's why I also chose UCLA for because I was going to go to Notre Dame if I was leaving the state, but I had to be close to home. So I told Mom, I said, you know what? I'm not used to being that far away from you guys. I'm West Coast and I don't know nothing about the cold. I said, I don't even know if I'm going to do this. She said, Pumpkin, listen. I remember when Coach Vermeil and came to our house. He said he was the most honest person I've ever met in my entire life. He said he would take care of you. He said, if you have a problem, he said, I know you could probably call Coach Vermeil and his wife, and they will take care of anything that you need. It's just like family. And after she said that, man, I stopped crying. I got on the plane, drank about 4 or 5 brass monkeys, and then landed in Philadelphia and did a press conference. So it's a roller coaster.
And so,
So-
now,
Oh,
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. So, being familiar with Vermeil, did that make the transition going into professionals easier?
Yeah, it made it a whole lot easier. Simon, I tell you, man, because I'm on the other side of the country, man. I'm not used to being. I get to the airport, okay, and I get picked up in the stretched Mercedes limo from Mr. Toast, the owner of the team, man. And we're leaving the airport and we come to a stoplight. There's a dude standing on that little island right there selling soft pretzels with mustard and shaved ice cream cones, okay? And I'm like, who's gonna buy something from this dude? I don't know where his hands been and this and that. It just was shock to me. But then I found out how good that those soft pretzels with the mustard and the cheese and stuff on it is. And so it was a big shot and it was a big adjustment. But I felt at home because Coach Ramil. Now remember this. Now, my freshman year, he's the one that took us to the Rose Bowl and we beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's the one that talked me into moving from offense to defense. We beat the Ohio State Buckeyes, and a month or so later, he flies out to Philadelphia to be interviewed by the Philadelphia Eagles. Los Angeles Times said they made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So Coach Mill left. I mean, I came there because of him. Then he leaves. So that was a shock too, man. But Terry Donahue took over, man, and everything seemed to work out. But I was just by having the relationship I have with Coach Vermeil, it made it a whole lot easier to go through the ups and downs. And there were a lot of ups and downs my first year because you guys, I had a couple leg injuries, and if you don't know, you might know this. They harass the rookies all the time. They go to lunch, breakfast, or dinner, and they start taking the knives and forks and hitting the glass, and they start calling out the different runs. You got to stand up there and put your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your balls, and you got to sing whatever they want you to sing. And they were just giving me a hard time, man. And so I'm sitting out there, and some of the guys were you're saying some things that just kind of hurt, say, oh, you're like Dick Coach Vermeil's son, this and that. You think because you're from Hollywood and you're a first round pick, and they didn't really like me, tell you the truth. So one day I'm sitting out there in training camp and I see this airplane flying. It's headed west. And this is a true story. I looked up at that airplane. I said, I could be on the next plane out of here. I would give the money back to the Philadelphia Eagles, the signing bonus and everything. And then all of a sudden, I remembered something that my brother fought for his life after being shot in the head when I was in high school. He didn't give up. It's just his time was up. And since he never gave up, I wasn't about to give up. And I made a deal with my brother and I, because, we grew up in Santa Rosa, not a whole lot of money, but we weren't poor, but we weren't rich. And we used to share the rooms, same room together. And we moved 8 different times when I was a kid. Sometimes we shared the same bed. And one day we said, whoever makes it first, my brother Jack and I, whoever makes it first is going to buy mom and dad a house. Well, my brother had died my freshman year at UCLA, and it was a promise that I made to him that we're going to buy my mom and dad's house. So actually, right now, as I'm speaking to you, I am in the house that I bought my mother and my father, and I did it because It was a deal that me and my brother made, and he wasn't alive to do it. So that was the motivational thing that kept me rolling all the way through.
And with that drive you had, I mean, your first year with the Philadelphia Eagles, you were second place in the Defensive Rookie of the Year behind Jim Haslett. I read all this morning.
You know what? Check it out, man. That now that I'm glad I'm on y'all's show, so we can straighten this whole thing out. Okay. Back then, they had AFC and NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. I made the NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. And Jim might have made the overall one, but I have my trophy in my trophy case that says Jerry Robinson NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I love Jim Haslett. We go a long ways back. But yeah, that was. Oh, and by the way, I had only played in 4 or 5 football games and made that NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year because I don't want to go into the story behind it, but that's not bad for a rookie.
Talk about an impact player. To only play 3 or 4 games and make an impact like that.
And check it out. And also I played inside backer at UCLA. Well, when I came to the Eagles, they wanted me to play outside backer. So I was playing outside backer, and Bill Berge, the legendary Bill Berge, he had gotten hurt at inside backer, and Terry Tatalo stepped in there. And it was a week before we were getting ready to do our Monday Night Football game against the Dallas Cowboys. And Coach Emil, we had lost the game before, and he called me and said, Jerry, he said, I'm going to move you to inside linebacker. You're going to play inside linebacker on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm like, okay, let me tell you this story. Check this out. The Cowboy fans are crazy. Them people are nuts. I remember that Monday night game with Hot Wet Cosell, okay? And I remember we got there, and we went out to the Texas Stadium, and I decided I start walking around. I said, oh my God, my first start in the NFL is going to be a Monday Night Football game against the Dallas Cowboys. And I went out to the center of the field, and I saw the groundskeeper there. And I'm looking around. I said, excuse me, sir. I said, I had a question for you. I said, you know what? We feel, especially people in California, we feel that you got all this money you guys have here in Texas with the oil wells and stuff. How come there's a hole in the roof? And that dude said, you want to know something, boy? I said, yeah. He said, the hole is in the roof so God can look down on his team. I said, fuck you, motherfucker. Sorry, y'all, but that's how the story went. And you know what? I had a great game, man. It was a lot of fun. Howard Cosell used to call me Young Jerry Robinson. So anyway, that's how that whole thing started. And it was more than half of the season was already gone by at that point when I came in there and played. But it was an honor to be, NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to come out of left field with a question here. You said you made it clear you grew up a Raiders fan.
Yep.
You're playing for the Eagles, and now you're in the Super Bowl, playing against your team that you grew up, cheering for and everything. The Cinderella team at the time. What was it like to go up against those Raiders in that game?
That was a dream come true, man. That's like, wow, man, I get to play against my childhood team in Super Bowl 15. But the way that they got to that Super Bowl was so impressive. We were favored to win the game, man. Our hotel had all this Philadelphia Eagles stuff in it, and yada yada yada. And by the way, Coach Vermeil, we had cars that were at the airport, so we can drive around this. And we didn't get our cars until Friday before the game. Okay, the Raiders got their car as soon as they got there. Matter of fact, some of the Raider guys was at our hotel talking to some of their friends. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be crazy here. So let me tell you a story about what happened. So we had bed check, because we worked harder than anybody in the National Football League. So strict bed check. So when my family flew out, my wife, my mom, my dad, her family, this and that, they flew out and we had our bed check. So I'm sitting at the edge of the bed and the newscaster saying, well, we're gonna go downtown to Bourbon Street. We got some Oakland Raiders that are downtown I forgot the name of the place, but they were drinking something called these hurricane drinks. So I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, man. I am watching the Raiders while we're locked down in our room. They're out on Bourbon Street catching beads and drinking hurricanes. I'm sitting there watching this, and the news camera pans in where John Matusek was. I saw John. Not only did I see John, I saw my wife, my dad, her mother, everybody. And I said, that's it, man. Seriously, I jumped up off the bed. I said, that's all. I'm breaking curfew. I'm going downtown to have some fun. I walked out the door, shut the door, and walked down the hall, and there was an armed guard sitting there, and he just shook his head and said, I wouldn't do it if I was you. So they had fun. I didn't have fun. It was that's football. It's like if you go to Super Bowl, that's a great thing. I mean, it's a great honor to be in Super Bowl. Okay, but still, I all these years I look at it like is if you win, it's great. But if you lose, it's a lifetime of a bad memory, man. But I'm trying to get over that. And here's the thing. So when I get traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Raiders in '85, I'm sitting on the table in the training room getting tape, ready to go, ready to go out to practice. Rod Martin, who had 3 interceptions that game, who I still say should have been the MVP. Plunkett, I've told you this before, so but Jim Plunkett got the car, but Rod
Yeah.
was MVP. So Rod walks in the left side of the room. I'm sitting on there getting spatted up. Rod says, "Hey, Jerry Robinson, show us that second place ring." And I had my Super Bowl ring on. I spun it around like a wedding band, man. I've never worn it around them again, ever. And then Cliff Branch decides to send me a picture. Hey, JR, you want to see what you could have had? I said, so it's, you know, it's been a lot of fun, man. But it was interesting. It really was. I'm sorry that we didn't win, but if we had to lose to a team, it was the Raiders, so I can deal with that, kind of.
So
I told you, Savage. I bet you that was going to be his answer. I told you if I had to lose to any team, let it at least be my team.
Yeah.
Growing up.
But guys, it's like, I'm just gonna start rolling. I just start talking. I don't know what this. I know this is a very loose crowd, so I can
you
say
can talk
whatever I
about
want
whatever
to
you
say.
want.
oh yeah.
So let me tell you what happened, man. When I got traded, I remember they were saying, Jerry, where would you like to go? In this trade, I said the Raiders. They said, well, give us another. I said the Raiders. I said the Raiders, the Raiders, the Raiders. That's the team I want to be traded to. Then I said, okay, if that's not, I said, because I'm not going to accept a trade if I got to go to Green Bay, Minnesota. I'm not going anywhere cold. Brother already dealt with enough cold. I don't want to deal with any cold. So my pick was the Raiders. And so what happened was I got a phone call from the San Francisco 49ers, and they said that they had traded for me. And I was kind of excited because I'm going back home. Okay. And they said, just hold off for a press conference. My next door neighbors, they were sad that I was leaving, and I was sad I was leaving because the fans in Philadelphia are great too. And they made me a cake with the Golden Gate Bridge on it. And I had my bag packed. I had my suitcase packed at the front door. And the next day I was supposed to be leaving to go to San Francisco. Well, at the time, my wife, she picks up the phone and she's talking. I'm looking at her. I'm like, what is this, Cindy? What? What? She hangs up the phone. She said, that was Al Davis. He told me to tell you, don't get on the fucking plane. And then a little while later, I get a phone call. Hey, Jerry, this is Tom Flores, Coach Flores from the Raiders. We made a trade. You've been traded to the Raiders and da 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 da. Now, those that don't know Coach Flores and those that do, you know what I'm saying. He talks at the same tone. He doesn't get excited, anything. I said, Coach Flores, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, are you as excited as I am about me being a Raider? He said, yeah, why? I sure in the hell couldn't tell because of your voice. So what happened was I got on that airplane, man. I came to the Raiders. It was happened to be their day off was a Tuesday. I went down to Beverly Hills, so that's where our doctors were in LA, Beverly Hills, where they would drive. And I went through all the different tests and this and that. And I remember the doctors had got a phone call and he said, Jerry, Al wants to know how's your eyesight? I said, what? Then I got on the phone and Al said, I bet you think you didn't know, huh? That I knew. What happened was my freshman year at UCLA, I was in a room with one of my teammates and standing. I was right by their door, and we had some practical jokers and stuff like that. And so they knocked on the door, and I went to look in the peephole. But earlier, I didn't know this, but earlier, a particular player, had taken the screw out of the eye, out of the eye hole. So it was nothing but a hole. And I looked in there, and a firecracker was shoved in there and exploded in my eye.
Oh.
And I'm like, how in the hell did Al Davis know about that? He said, yep, I know everything about you. So what happened was I left the doctor's office. I went back to the facility in El Segundo. I was waiting for the bus to pick me up, take me back. I'm sitting in the Raider locker room all by myself, you guys. And I'm looking around at the names of the different ball players. And I'm like, golly. And I stood up and I turned around. I saw my helmet and I took that helmet and I stuck it on my head, man. And I sat back down on that gray stool and the tears started to run down my face. I said, thank you, Jesus. I finally made it. That was my experience. That's what it was like to be a Raider. And I just want to share that with you because nowadays everything's a little different. People, they can move like they want to move and whatever. I was just proud to have my childhood dream come true. And I knew what it meant to be wearing that silver and black because I had a chance to see, the Jack Tatums and the Willie Browns and Stabler and Monica and Plunkett and stuff like that, man. It meant a lot to me. So yes, I know I'm getting carried away, man. I'm trying not to
Oh
get
no, no,
emotional.
no. This is great.
It was a really emotional moment for me, and it was like I said, "Thank you, Jesus, my dream come true." And from there on, that was it.
So which felt better then? Being drafted into the NFL and being able to be a pro athlete, or sitting there, like you just said, in the situation, realizing you're a Raider?
That's a great question. You know what? Was the day I became a Raider. Was the day I became the Raider hit me harder. But the effect of being the first round draft pick, what that allowed me to do is to be able to buy my mom and dad a house that my brother and I was going to do, and he was no longer here. So you know what I mean? There's a difference in there, but
Yeah.
they're both really powerful. I mean, I tell you what, man, just that, oh gosh, just to be part of that, you gotta understand it, man. I mean, some people love Disneyland. Kids love Disneyland, so do adults. Okay, it's like being in Disneyland, man. To me, it was the happiest place on the planet. I couldn't, what? And then, Al saying stuff like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm like, oh, wow, really? Okay. And stuff like, I don't care if you get arrested and go to jail during the week, but if you play hard for me on Sunday, I'll pay you and get you out of jail. I'm like, oh, wow, really? Really? And that wasn't like that in Philadelphia, because Coach Mill was totally different, which I have a lot of respect for. But Al, he said, I don't care what you do during the week, as long as you play hard on Sunday. And if you happen to get into some trouble, whatever it is, he said, I will get you out of jail. And then when he said that, I started thinking about the older Raiders, the crazy
the Matuzaks.
Yeah, that's the first person I thought about, So, but I want to say something. I was watching that, the intro, I'll never forget that day, but the Lyle Alzado went against the New York Jets against Chris Ward.
The helmet.
The helmet. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, and it was, it was good with Al, See, some people don't understand, I found this out. So Matt Miller and I became real good friends. I know Matt when he was at Penn State, he was on a lot of different All-American trips. And Matt told me, he said, during that week of practice for the Super Bowl 15, he said, guys were just kind of lagging around doing this and that. And he said, and Al came over to him and said, start a fight. Matt started a fight. Everybody got involved, and all of a sudden they snapped out and went on to win the damn Super Bowl.
That's the secret to win the Super Bowl. Just go out there and start a fight. Come together.
Yeah, man. I was like this. You know what? Sometimes well, not sometimes, but you get fined for certain things, especially some physical things, starting fights and all that kind of stuff. But if Al called you on that red phone, because when you're watching the game, there's a bank of phones, but you don't want to mess with the red phone because that was going straight from Al. Okay, but anyway,
the president phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's the man's phone right there. And I saw some fights take place, and Al would be like, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of the fine, just as long as we win the game." You know what I mean? And Al was just different. He was all about winning. He was all about winning. He was a student of the game. He was a pioneer, man. Al was something. I tell you what. I know I'm getting carried away.
I got him tattooed on my neck. Which side is it? I said I got Al Davis tattooed on my neck.
Oh, there you go. You know, Al, you know, when you run, I'm not speaking to the LA Coliseum because that's where I played in LA. When you run out the tunnel, Al was always the first one there with that gold, with that black bracelet, the silver and black bracelet with Al on it, and his Super Bowl ring, and his cool shades with the little chain on it. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. You'd be like that. And then one day, Al, a couple times, Al was saying, "Be right. God damn it, Jerry, be right." And one day I asked him, I said, "What do you mean about be right?" He said, "God damn it, just don't be fucking wrong." I'm like, okay. He said, that's what he said, man. He said, if you see something and you just take a chance on it, just make sure that you're right at your decision. But it was just so cool with Al, man. I mean, he was just a different dude, man. It was just he was all about his team and about his players. And you might get a phone call from Al in training camp. I mean, the coaches were, he'd wake him up at 2 o'clock in the morning. He just figured out a new offensive play or defensive scheme, whatever it is. And Al was all about winning, whatever it took to win. And that's what that was very impressive. I miss Al.
Yeah. I know this organization misses someone like Al Davis, someone who's focused on the team and the organization. I was going somewhere with this. I got caught up in the story. I was going somewhere with this.
So you've been
too.
He's been hit in the head a few times too.
I understand.
Yeah, high school football.
Hey, you know what? It only takes one time, man. I got it blown up so bad. There's a video on YouTube of Jim Lachey. I intercepted a pass against the Washington Redskins. I think it was 19. I don't know. It might have been 87 on YouTube. And I picked off this pass, man. I'm headed. I started up the middle, and I got to the sideline. I'm thinking about da-da-da, da-da-da. And all of a sudden, the running back caught up to me. He grabbed me by the horse collar from behind, and Jim Lachey knocked me out cold. I couldn't even play for 3 weeks. He didn't play either, man. And I don't know what. Oh, concussion. So I've had a few of them, so I know how you feel. So sometimes if you start talking and you forget about shit, don't worry about it. I understand what's happening because that brain gets blasted around, man. But I've never been hit like that in my whole life.
I've had 7 of them. I know.
Okay. So playing for the Raiders now, I know there was still a few left because you came in 85. I got my graphic. You came in 85. They just won a Super Bowl in 83. So there are still some players on there, like you said, Cliff Branch. I want to say the Matt Stork was still there. I think he was towards the end. You had Todd Christensen. Out of all those guys, because we asked Jeff Barnes the same question, out of all those guys, who was your favorite, your favorite teammate? Who was your homie?
I'm still close with Lionel Washington, and Greg Townsend, and Lester Hayes. We had that group was there. Here's our defense. Right corner, Lester the Judge. He's right there. Left corner, Mike Haynes, Hall of Famer.
Mike Haynes.
You got Mike Davis behind you and Van McLemore. You got Howie Long, Bill Bickel, Rod Martin, Matt Millen. Hey, man, we were a close-knit group, and we still are, man. That's the thing of it is that I don't know what it's like now in the locker room or how they feel about each other, but camaraderie was really important to us, and every Thursday night was camaraderie night, and it means a lot, man. When grown men now to this day, when we see each other, when we can tell each other, "I love you," hey man, dudes didn't do that back in the day. Well, that's how we felt about each other, and that's how we still feel about each other. I'm not sure what the temperature is in the locker room now. But when you care about somebody, when you truly care the way we care for each other, you did everything you could to make sure that you did everything you had to do to be successful. Now, we didn't win them all, but you know what? The situation in the last few years with the Raiders, it's not been very good. I understand that, and it has a huge effect on our fan base. Speaking of fans, Raider Nation, I mean, these 4 legs, I don't know if you can see this on my hat. There's only one nation. There's only one nation.
There's only one nation.
And the Raider Nation fans, that's one of the things that I really miss about the game is our fans. Oh my God. You guys, I'm gonna tell you, I can't hardly describe the feeling when you walk off that tunnel. You start to walk the tunnel. It's deep because it's dark, and then all of a sudden it starts to open up and get light, and all of a sudden you hear the Raider Nation. You hear them because they see a couple people coming out, and then it gets louder and louder. When the whole team comes out, the whole place explodes. I miss that. That's one of the things that I really miss because our fan base is incredible. People want to duplicate. They want to copy what we do, and they can't do it. They just can't do it. Like I said, man. These 4 words, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. There it is. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's only
Oh, we
one
can see
nation.
it.
Okay,
There's
good. I
only
want
one
everybody. I
nation,
want.
and that's Raider Nation.
That's right. I want
And
everybody to see that, man.
I mean, I have to admit, that's probably a drug to you guys coming out of that, that tunnel and hearing the roar of the crowd, and just, no matter how the game goes, they're just there to, support you and, do what they can.
And we appreciated that. You know what I mean? I don't know what situations like now. I mean, now it's a different time and era. You got people with cell phones taking photos of this and that and videotaping this and that. And maybe guys that you got to be careful what you do. We didn't, unfortunately, we didn't have to worry about that because I just remember it was always exciting to walk out those double doors at the LA Coliseum and go down the side, as you're walking out of there and start saying hi to people, taking pictures because we parked in the same lot that everybody else parked in. You know what I mean? So it was, that camaraderie with the fans, man, that's something I will cherish for the rest of my life.
When the Raiders came back to Oakland, you had retired a few years before. I know you went to a lot of Raider games in Oakland when they came back in '95. I know that's my era because I was born in '85. So I was 2 years after the last Super Bowl, so I missed all that. My only Super Bowl was Super Bowl 37 when they ended up losing to the Buccaneers. But I was at the Titans game. I was at the Titans game. I know I hate it too, but I was at the game the week before when the Raiders beat the Titans to go to the Super Bowl. And I was up in Mount Davis, and I didn't care. I had my big old headphones, listening to Greg Papa and Tom Flores on the radio, trying to see the little black and silver dots versus the white and blue dots on the field. But like you, I was raised and I grew up. I was born into this this Raider lifestyle. My dad had a band that he played at the Coliseum in the D lot, where the original Black Hole, who started in Hayward, California, they were out there in D lot, right outside the parking lot of the players' parking lot, right there, between the Coliseum and the arena, and just seeing, and I have the video. I got to pull it up, but I just seen. Just like as a kid, and this was my life growing up, and all these Raider fans, and then going into the stadium and then seeing like the crowd roar. Like my favorite part of the Raider game was to get there during warmups, and then when they go back into the locker room, I'm just sitting there waiting until they come out and they get introduced. And then as a fan, your blood's going because you're excited, and they're calling out from my era: Tim Brown, Lincoln Kennedy, Charles Woodson in his first stint, Eric Allen, all these guys, and it's something that I feel is missing out there, and I'm not going to bash Las Vegas. They have to reestablish themselves out there in Las Vegas. They haven't done it in these 5 years. They got close, but that's what I miss too. It was a different because these were like you didn't have Bronco fans coming in and taking over the stadium like this past game. Okay, it was all Raider. You might see a Bronco, like say Raiders and Broncos. You might see one Bronco fan there, but he's close to his best friend who's a Raider fan, just in case things go down. No. He's with me. Yeah. Don't worry. He's with me. Though I know he's a jackass, donkey fan, whatever. But hey, he's with me. Okay, don't worry. Whatever he says, I'll punch him in the face later in the parking lot. But now it's different. It's I've been to the new stadium. I don't know. I missed the Oakland. I missed the Oakland Coliseum. Yeah. Me and my girlfriend still drive past it when we go to Oakland in the morning. That was what me and Asylum called church. That was our church. Sunday mornings we go over there. Yeah, we go over there.
Well, you know what? So, what you're saying. And as a former player, I'm in Santa Rosa. I'm north of Oakland, right? And when I go to the Raider games, I have to fly out of Oakland, and every single time I head to that airport, I got to pass that empty stadium, man, and it hurts. It hurts that they're no longer here. that's a whole nother subject we could get into. But it just hurts because as a kid, that's where it was. I mean, you talk about some of the greatest tailgates of all time was in those parking lots. I mean, and it just
Oh yes.
and the camaraderie and the fan base, and it just, I mean, it can't be duplicated. You know what I mean? And I miss that. And now, when you go to the stadium, especially if it's Pittsburgh, San Francisco, San Diego, Kansas City, anybody that comes there
Yes.
in the stands, there's more of their colors there. There's more of their colors there. Now we got to be honest, okay? Now Las Vegas is a destination. Now these teams, they look at their schedule. They're like, "Oh my God, okay, we're gonna be playing the Vegas. We're going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders." These people are saving up money. You know what I mean? To come out
Yeah.
there, and they come out in droves, man, and they really do. But I think that could change if they start winning. Instead of season ticket holders selling their tickets, reselling their tickets because they're not happy with what they're seeing, start winning and you will see a difference. You will see a difference because there's nothing like a Raider party, and to be in that stadium and
Oh,
hear another, I mean, that the Denver Broncos game, holy jeez, I was there and I'm like, they just took over. They
Hmm.
took over and they were happy that they took over and they were loud and all that kind of stuff. But the only way to fix that is just start winning and it will change.
I've been saying the same thing right there. You want to change the home field advantage, start winning games, and then people are going to start showing up.
You're right. And another thing that I wanted to touch on, it was interesting because we have our alumni suites. We get to go to the game and we sign autographs and visit suite visitations and thank people for being Raider fans. And right now, I really want to thank everybody that's a Raider fan. Thanks for sticking with us because it will turn around, man. You know, I like Pete Carroll. Okay, this is Pete's first year. What do you expect? A damn miracle? Well, maybe we did. Well, we were lying to ourselves. It wasn't going to happen. Okay, okay. And I just love the loyalty that our fans have. Of course, y'all express your opinions, which is awesome, great, but you're still fans. You're just dissatisfied and you're angry about this and angry about that. So are we. So is alumni. So are we. And it's just, it seems to be. I'll put it this way. After we got through doing our alumni suite visitations one time and this and that, the guys are in the sitting in the suite watching the game. And what we have seen lately, and we're kind of like, as a ball player, how do you deal with this? Because we didn't have to go through stuff like that. No, 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 no. We weren't on years and years of losing. Okay, that didn't work that way. And someone said, you know what? This is how we would handle it. It would have been an MMA bout in our locker room or WWF. Our locker room, we would have held each other accountable. And I've seen it happen before, not too wild, but I've seen it happen where we just had closed the doors. Ain't nobody coming in this locker room because this locker room is our spot. And we start calling people out. It wasn't in a neck. It was just being honest. Okay. It was just like, you gotta be held responsible for what you do and accountable for what you do, and it's a different age. I don't know how sensitive guys are, whatever it is, but winning is what it's about. And it's about not letting your teammate down, not letting your fans down. And if you have to study longer, if you have to stay longer, whatever, or you need to work out certain techniques or whatever it may be, because no one likes to lose. I mean, I feel bad for the guys that are there, because those guys, if you don't know the history of the Raiders, then it doesn't bother you. But if you know the history of the Raiders, the winningest sports franchise in history of all the sports back in the day, out of all the freaking sports, come on, man. And Monday Night Football was Monday night was
Yes.
Raider night.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
And like John Madden said, that, they said we hit late and we're dirty. He said, so okay, what you gonna do about it? That those were the days where
We just had a call about that. That's what Madden said. Yeah, we cheating. What you going to do about it?
yeah, what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? And the other interesting thing, y'all think about this for a minute. If you're 25 years old or maybe 30, whatever, and you're a diehard Raider fan, you haven't had an opportunity to understand why the older guys are Raider fans that would pass down because the last 10, I don't know how many years it's been, but it has not been what the Raiders used to be. But we still have loyal fans. It's passed down through families and stuff like that. And that's what I really appreciate. But if you're 20
Oh,
years old and you're a Raider fan, you don't know, unless you know the history of the Raiders and the success of the Raiders. You haven't had an opportunity to experience what we are experiencing.
Well, see, it's different for me. I grew up in a family full of 49ers fans, and I am the only Raiders fan. I'm the only Raiders fan in the family. I'm literally the black sheep of the family, and I love every second of it, honestly. So
You know what? I was gonna say that, man. You are getting a little darker. Every time I look at you, your ass is getting darker and darker. You started off like paisley white, now you got. Never mind. I'm messing with you, Silent.
I ever since I was probably about 5 years old, give or take, a couple of years, I've always been a Raiders fan. There's always pictures of me growing up in Raiders stuff. It was the colors. And then when I started getting into football, it was Bo Jackson. So, we got this whole thing of just for me, my dad always thinks it was because he was a 49ers fan. But to be honest with you, I may have grown up watching the 49ers, but I picked my team. They were my local team. And it's always been the Raiders till the day I die. I've got so many Raider tattoos. There's no way in hell I could go any other way.
So let me ask you a question. Then, the way you feel about it, is in your blood. That's what you bleed. How do you feel about what's going on? I mean, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about what needs to be done?
Well, I mean, I was around like Savage for the last few couple of Super Bowl wins we had and going. So I was around a little bit around with that greatness and everything going. It does suck to see where we are currently. The way we've gone for the last 20 plus years. But Al Davis is going to come down some way, and it's still the way it used to be. We're going to have Raider greatness again. You can only sit at the bottom for so long.
Yeah.
We just got to get the right people in the right places to start turning this around. And the biggest thing is we have to be able to give a head coach the time to turn it around, because if we don't and we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to be beyond. We're not even going to be mediocre for another 20 years.
Yeah, the result will be the same.
Exactly. We're just going to continue. We'll be the new Browns for the next, 40 years. And that's not what we
don't want that.
We just have to give it time to happen. We have to give the coach. We can't do these one and dones. When you hire a coach, and unfortunately, I like Pete Carroll. I just don't think we're going to have it with him because of his age. We're not going to have the time that's going to be dedicated to it. We got the two years plus the team option here, but he's going to retire. We don't know who his successor is going to be. I'd rather start fresh. Give the coach that you bring in next the time to be able to build his team.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me ask you both of this question. How do you feel about, do you think Tom Brady should be more involved in what's going on with hiring of coaches or personnel?
I feel that if Tom Brady is supposed to be the guy, Mark Davis's friend, he's supposed to be the guy, then you have to decide, okay, if you're going to be the guy, then you have to stop doing all these other projects, the production projects, doing the commentating on Fox. Like, we need someone who is the guy. Al Davis was the guy. It doesn't matter who was a coach. Doesn't matter whoever was. You knew that whatever Al Davis said, that was the Godfather. The Godfather. You do what the Godfather says. You kiss the ring and you do what he says. Okay. No, or Al Davis, you kiss the rings and you do what he says. Okay. So if Brady's gonna be the guy and he wants to, be the guy controlling everything, because what I read was that the person telling him everything, his eyes and ears, is his trainer that's inside the building right now. And it's like, no, that's how the dysfunction keeps going on. If you're gonna be, you want to be an owner and just make money, okay, cool. But if you want to be the voice, you need to be inside and see everything firsthand. Practice. Al Davis was in practice, in the meetings. Al Davis was the meetings, all this. You need to be there. And I'm not saying micromanage, but you want to be the guy, you need to be in the building.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. You know what? a lot of people have said because of Tom, they think about that tuck rule, this and that. I'm like this. That man knows how to win. He knows how to win. Just check his fingers, okay? Just check the records. And he learned from one hell of a coach, Bill Belichick. And I'm just wondering if people think he should be more involved in it. I don't know actually, I don't know how much involvement he has in it, but it seems like there's a lot of knowledge and experience that he has that we sure could use. And I don't know. I don't know. I just thought I'd ask that question.
The chat kind of agrees with you there, and I'm agreeing with the chat and going. I think it's time to give up the TV deal. If you want to be an owner, be an owner. If you want just your hands in a little bit of everything, then go find another team that's willing to give it to you. But if you want to be an owner, step in and be an owner, and let's do it 100%, not 50%.
50% is less than that. He's spreading himself thin.
I was being generous. Just like Geno Smith with his passes.
Oh, stop it, man.
Ooh, generous. That's a whole nother subject right there.
Hey, man, I didn't mean to throw y'all off of your schedule, man.
No. We're actually on your schedule. We don't know how much more time you have, whether we should transition for the reason you're here or continue going for a little bit longer.
Well, you know what? I got to say this again, man. I love Raider Nation, man. I love our fan base, man. Is just they're so loyal. They're loyal. Matter of fact, they're more loyal to the team than they are to their marriages, probably. But anyway, it just seems like, and it has to be. I know it has to be really hard for you guys, those that really bleed the silver and black like we do, like those that play for the Raiders. And I feel for you guys. I really do, man. And I just hope they get things turned around. I do, because I want people to understand and experience what the greatness of the Raiders really is, what it was, and let it come back. Because once we got on our roll, man, we stayed on our roll for a long time. We just been on the downslide for several years, but we can't stay there forever, And I just really, our fans deserve to see and experience what the 70s and 80s and early 90s was like. Okay, I mean that was those times where, I mean, you guys remember now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they're calling the criminal elements, and they wanted to sue the Raiders for this and that, and Ahmad, Bobby Moore, Ahmad Rashad crying about this and crying about that, and and people getting knocked out, and just the game was different. Sammy White, yeah, Lord have mercy, yeah, and it was so much fun back then. And right now I know they're not having fun. You can't have fun losing. If you're having fun losing, you don't need to be there, and it just, there's a lot of pride that goes with that silver and black, man. That helmet, that organization, it changed professional sports back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And all different aspects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I tell y'all a story about Al Davis, man? Let me tell you something. Can I tell y'all a story? Y'all want to hear a story? Well, here it goes. Anyway.
Yes.
So it's big difference. The Philadelphia Eagles, Coach Vermeil, he believed in hard work. He worked as hard as anybody and that kind of stuff. That's okay. It paid off. My first year with the Raiders, we win the division championship. Now, I've always been friendly to Al, and I'm always smiling. He looked at me kind of funny, like, why are you always smiling? But I am, because I'm used to winning. I'm winning now. And so I forgot who we beat, but we won the division title, and Al was standing over there about 15 feet from me, leaning up against the door, and he was looking at me, and I saw him, and I jumped up, and I went over and shook his hand, and I said, congratulations. He said, congratulations for what? I said, we just won the division. I was fired up, man. My hair was standing up like Don King's. Boom! I was fired up. The energy was just there. And he looked at me, he said, now I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how he said it, so excuse my language. He said, you want to know what the difference between the fucking Philadelphia Eagles and the Raiders? I said, yeah. He said, the fucking Eagles get excited when you win the division. We expect to win the division. He said, win me a Super Bowl and you see me fucking happy. And I looked at him, and that was the difference. they expected to always win the division, man. Always. That was it. That's the difference. And that I was all about winning whatever you had to do. I don't care whether it was cheating or not. Whatever you had to do to win. It was about
Yeah.
just win, baby. And it really was. And it just I said, wow, I'm in a total different place now. From Philadelphia to here, the mentality was totally different. I mean, like I said, hey, I don't care if you get arrested, go to jail. As long as you play hard on Sunday, I'll get you out by Sunday. You can play. It's about I don't care what you do during the week. As long as you play hard for me, I'll keep you on my team and I'll pay you. Now that may not sound, I don't know how that might sound to other people, but that's kind of rare.
Yeah, the Villapiano has said that once. He goes, if I threw a punch in Bowling Green, they send me home. If I threw a punch with the Raiders, it just better be at the right guy.
Yeah, like ask Matt Millen that question. He said the same thing. Oh, when Matt, you know what I'm talking about, right? When Matt hit the
Oh yeah, it's the Patriots GM.
I was walking right behind Matt, and all of a sudden I saw this hand come across, boom, and the dude's hair blew up in his face. And I was like, what's going on? And Matt said, he was messing with Howie. I thought he was gonna mess you're gonna protect Howie. This little dude's gonna do something to Howie. I said, come on, man. Come on, you better come up with a better story than that, man. You better come up with a better story than that by the time this gets printed out here. But yeah, those were the days, man. It really was.
Okay. Well, I got one more. I found one more, I guess, tidbit, whatever, So drafted by the Eagles, linebacker, round 1, pick 21. It took 46 years for the Eagles to pick another linebacker in the first round, and it happened this past draft. And from what I read, you will celebrate like the Miami Dolphins. And that last team has their first loss. When they talk about, the 72 Dolphins are getting threatened, so-and-so is 10-0. They want to get that first loss, pop the champagne. Jahad Campbell came out first round, pick 31. So you were like right at the edge of the first round, came out 46 years. How did it feel? I know it's like some little but to be the last linebacker drafted in the first round for the Eagles.
You know what? They start bringing that up to me, way back when. And I'm like, I hadn't realized it then. So, I bring out the old cigar and, and this and that. But it's been 46 years. I'm happy that they did. And it kept me in the Eagles on their mind every time they had a draft. Okay. They didn't ever draft a linebacker first round pick. And when it happened, I was excited for the kid, man. I really was. I'm excited for him. But it was kind of cool to be part of that. I mean, 46 years, come on. I mean, that's a long time, in between a first round draft linebacker, and it was kind of like an honor, actually. It was something that I look forward to every year. And then when they finally did it, I was happy that they did it. And good luck to the Eagles. I mean, got to understand something. My two favorite teams, the Raiders and the Eagles. That's just the way it is. That's it. But when I was growing up, my two favorite teams were the Raiders and the Steelers, and that's crazy stuff, man. Because the battles that they had, man, it was just legendary stuff going on, And I got to meet Joe Green, and I don't know, man. I've enjoyed the journey that I've had. God has been so good to me, man, and it's about giving back. You got to give, you got to go back and give back, And I try to share, my experience with as many kids as I can, because nowadays things are different. You got NIL money, you got all kinds of things going on where I think some kids feel entitled to this, entitled to that, whatever it may be, but don't forget who you are, because people aren't they're not gonna remember your stats when you pass away. They'll remember the person that you are and the way you treat people. My mom always said, treat people the way you want to be treated. And don't get such a big head that you can't come back home and share your experience with the kids that are around you and the people that are around you. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and my mom was in the comments. My mom was in the comments. She wanted me to make sure I always say this, that my grandfather worked for one of the Raider owners, Frank Uvalde. He had a excavation company. So my mom reminds me, it was long before the Raiders came back. You were born into this because your grandfather worked for one of the owners when he had his other concrete excavation company. So my mom wanted to remind me that my Raider story goes even before I was born. So that's what
it
my
is.
mom.
Mom, I love you, Mom. I haven't met you, but I tell you what, you're absolutely right. It is passed on. It's passed on. It's history. You become part of that Raider family tree. That's why it's so hard right now with the leaves shaking and turning brown. It's hard to accept, but we're not giving up though. That's the thing of it. We're not giving up. It can't last much longer. I don't think it can last much longer. But you know what? No
Yeah.
matter which way it turns out, we will always have the most loyal fans on the planet. Now, this hat that y'all look at, you like the hat? What do you think? Is it all right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you where I got this hat. I got this hat from the Legends Cruise a couple years ago, man, in Ensenada. And we're having another Raiders Legends Cruise for a cause. Let me get this correct. It is May 15th to the 18th, 2026. We'll be going to Ensenada, in Mexico, where they treat us really nicely. And if you like this hat, I can show you where you can get this hat because I got it in Ensenada. But listen, there's nothing more exciting for me as a former player being on a ship on a boat in the Pacific Ocean, and you hear Raiders, and all of a sudden the whole damn ship just takes over, man. And it's just a lot of fun. It's exciting. I love doing it because Jeff Barnes and Anita Barnes, they do a great job because they're doing it for a cause. They have a different cause all the time. But I like the interaction between the Raider fans, Raider Nation, and the ball players. We have panels, we have discussions, we have autograph sessions. They get to hear stories that we can't put in books. And then we get to hear stories about when they became Raider fans, and some people, they got engaged at Raider games at Oakland Coliseum, just all that kind of stuff. Man, it's a lot of fun, and it's. I hope everybody get a chance to please come check it out because you're gonna get a chance to see alumni. There's several of them have two-time Super Bowl champions. This is when the Raiders were the Raiders were the Raiders, the ones that the reason why people are Raider fans now because of some of these guys that alumni that are on this cruise. And it's a great way to have fun, man, and make new friends. And I love looking forward to it. So I hope as many people that they can get involved in this because you're gonna have fun. Oh, you think the parking lot is something? Wait till you get on a cruise ship. Wait till you get your butt on a cruise ship, man. So I just want to remind everybody about that, man. Check it out. It's a lot. It is a lot of fun. It really is. It brings you even closer together.
And there is still a special going. We just found out for the balcony suite for 2 people. It is still $1,000. So contact Ericka if you want any more information. We can take some questions here real quick, to go for that. But contact Ericka for any questions, to put down a deposit to get everything started. And don't forget to either tell Ericka or if you do it by email or whatever, put in the cage match so she knows where you came from to get this all going.
Yes. Because every time I'm sorry, over. For every person that reserves, that's the word. Every person that reserves their room helps to bring in another legend onto the cruise, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a whole like let's have a whole 52-man roster of all the excellence, the commitment to excellence players to come onto this ship. We'll have a whole football team on there. Okay, we'll do special teams, offense, defense. We'll do it all. That's what we're trying to do.
And let's all just go take over the Pacific Ocean for 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of memories that you have for the rest of your life, and you're doing something to help a cause. And Jeff Barnes and Anita Barnes are all about that. And like I said, I don't know the list of who's on there now, but I'm sure there's possibility there's going to be several guys on that ship.
We can say it right now. Bring up that flyer again, Savage. Right now, these are the legends we know. You're going to be on it. Jeff Barnes is going to be there. Kenny King and Frank Hawkins.
Dude, you got a whole bunch of Super Bowl rings right there, and you have some great stories. I'm telling you, the panel thing when we get involved with the crowd, man, that is one of the funny. That's one of the funniest and happiest times because you get to ask questions and you get to hear the real deal story about things. And I really enjoyed that. That's really important. And you walk away with some autographs and some pictures, and but the main thing is you walk away with a lifelong memory of something that was really
Mm-hmm.
good at being part of.
Mm-hmm. From
Okay,
people
now
telling stories from,
yeah,
people who were there in the golden
yeah,
era.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, stories that you can't put in a book. Some of them. You might catch one of us, off to the side, man, and you might ask about a certain thing that maybe you did not want to talk about in a large group because you don't know who's recording what, but you'll
Hmm.
get the real deal from somebody. It's just a lot of fun. It really is. We are family. We are family. The Radio Nation is a family, and everybody's trying to be like us. But like I said before, there's only
There's only
one.
one nation.
There's only
And
one
that's
Raider
nation.
Nation.
Raider Nation.
Hey, gentlemen,
Yeah.
I know you guys are busy, man. I got to run out of here. Is that okay? I got to
Oh
take
yeah,
off
Yes,
that's fine.
that's
That's
because what I
perfect.
got to do is because I believe this, I try to support as many young groups and people, try to show up and because support is really important. You need to be there, especially if people know who you are, because they look up in the stands and you never know. It might give them a boost of energy to exceed even more than wherever they're trying to do. I come back to give back, and that's kind of like this cruise to me. We're coming back to give back. We're trying to give back our experience and our stories and our appreciation for the Raider Nation fans. I mean, seriously, we miss you guys. Okay. I can't speak for what's going on now. All I know is that those that have donned the silver and black, we miss you guys. And I hope as many people as they can join this cruise because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right. Hey, man, I love you,
yes.
brothers, man. And God bless you. I got to roll out here to my high school to support this basketball team. All right, you guys. And God bless you. Hey, man, y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes,
Same to
and
Oh,
you.
happy.
and one more thing though. You know what, man? People that listen to this, if you know somebody that needs, I mean, I think you guys need to have big time sponsors, man, because this show is live, man. It is great. I mean, hey, man, keep it rolling. Hey, direct deposit. They ain't got to see you, man. Just hook it up. You know what I mean? You guys, this has been a lot of fun. It really has been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you
Yes.
guys allowing me to come on here. And please forgive the vulgar language, but it's football season, shit. So that's the way it is.
We
All right,
appreciate you
y'all.
coming on
All
here.
right, I'm out.
That's a bigger
I'm
deal
out,
to
brother.
us.
All right,
All
and
right,
happy
brothers.
early birthday again.
Oh, thank you. And tell your mom I said hello, man.
I will. Thank you.
All right, buddy. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
If I know how to
When you
get
have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Oh wait, I didn't change the background. Okay. All right, we're back. All right, that was Jerry Robinson coming on to the cage match. Oh yeah. We appreciate that. We were able to do this
That was
interview.
fun.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yes. And we hope to get him back again next time. And next time it's gonna be a no holds bar, full on. They're gonna do just the stories and just football, and then also football. So that's what I'm hoping. All right. Show is not over. Show is not over. Thank you very much, babe. Show is not over. We still got to talk about a game, but let's
I want to talk
pretend-
about the game with Jerry Robinson instead of this damn game.
well, we got 9 people on. Let's do this again. Let's restart the show. I'm gonna play it again because I thought it was funny. Let's do it again. Let's do the CMN update one more time, just for the second half of the show, and then we'll get into all this mess. So here we go, Asylum. Play that for me, please.
This is CMN, a cage match news update.
Hello, this is Asylum Burgundy at the Al Davis News Desk for your Cage Match News Update. I don't know how to feel about this one. Of course, we lost again. What else is new? And the Raiders couldn't tackle. Yup, seems about right. but there were some wins in this game. Well, for starters, right now we currently hold the second pick. Another small victory. We finally got to see a different quarterback other than Geno Smith. Look at that beautiful pass. Perfection. And this could be considered a victory for some, as this set of crazy events, including this delay of game penalty on Denver, resulted in a meaningless field goal to cover the 7.5 spread. Other people were very skeptical on Pete Carroll's decision.
That's the worst beat of all time. You have to investigate the Raiders. Investigate the Raiders. What are they doing? What the fuck? That's the worst beat of all time. That is cheating. Pete Carroll should be in fucking prison. Prison for Pete Carroll. Prison. The spread's 8.5. They spiked the ball, by the way. They ran up and spiked it as a tempo. Prison Pete Carroll. Murder Pete Carroll. I want Pete Carroll murdered. They call a delay game with 4 seconds. They weren't even, the game was over. The game was over. What the hell? And then they run out the field goal unit, kick a field goal with no time left. Prison!
That's why gambling is bad, and I don't condone the practice of, what's that? Wow! Nothing to see here. Don't bring out my winnings while I'm doing a PSA on gambling. Now I look like a jackass. Haha, sorry, that was my accountant bringing me my Christmas bonus. Let's move on and forget about it. Let's make sure Geno is ready for this shade. Okay, how did Kenny Pickett finally get playing time over Geno Smith? Well, it was this hit that injured his shoulder and took him out the game. But the injury we saw happened a drive earlier. It happened on a sack, and it's ironic this injury that caused him the most discomfort was to his fingers. On the following home game after this finger, karma! Do you know what the current record of the Kansas City Chiefs are now?
6, 7, 8! Oh my god! So fucking funny!
Nothing gets my chestnuts roasting than to see the Chiefs implode in December. But also to see Rashee Rice in a high-speed collision. If you know, you know. Karma! We never forgot when Derek Carr was having an MVP season in 2016, but then broke his leg against the Colts from a sack and killing our Christmas. Well, 10 seasons later, the Colts were riding high with their quarterback Daniel Jones until he suffered an apparent non-contact Achilles injury which killed their playoff hopes in the month of Christmas. Karma! The Colts did in fact call Derek Carr to come out of retirement to step in, which he declined. But then they turned to an old favorite in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who retired 5 years ago. Of course, we have the exclusive footage of his workout.
On the count of 3. 3. Let's rock.
That's it for me. I need to go Christmas shopping. Hey, where did that girl go with my money? I have bets to make.
All right, that's all
I do have
Burgundy
one
he got. Yes.
I got one thing. Did Rashid?
Well, you cut out. Oh, look at they got him. They got him, guys. Okay, now say it again. No. You're good. Say it again.
I was just asking. Did Rashid Rice leave the playbook on the field after that hit?
I saw some videos where he left a lot of rings, like the Sonic rings. The playbook was in the car. It's ready to take off. That's why they're losing, because someone got the playbook. Anyways, okay, Silent, let's go back into this right here. Of course, we had the game on Sunday, and this was a winnable game, like the Thursday night game we had a month ago. But let's go through the numbers. The Broncos, well, first of all, the Raiders didn't tackle. This defense is breaking down because they're always on the field, but let's look at the numbers. The Broncos total yards, 356 total yards to the Raiders, 229. Passing yards, 204 to the Broncos, 189 to the Raiders. That's with two quarterbacks. The rushing yards, 152 to the Broncos, 40 to the Raiders. Yards per play, 4.9 to the Broncos to our 4.8. First downs, I get 27, them to 16. But there were no turnovers. We got Bro Nix 3 times. Geno Smith was sacked 3 times, and then Kenny Pickett, who came in, was sacked 1 time. But this game was still winnable if they would have threw Kenny Pickett in early. You know, Asylum, looking at these numbers, I mean, it same old. But what do you got to say about
All
this?
I saw was if Kenny Pickett would have started, came in the game earlier, we could have won the game.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
I mean, and you know, the Broncos went down the field.
Thanks for stopping by. We know you're on break.
What's up, Vincent? The Broncos went down the field and they scored. So okay, because we deferred. Then the Raiders, you know, Geno Smith, he was throwing the ball quickly and said, okay, maybe someone, you know, got in you and said, hey, let's go. I don't know. But then after that first drive, then of course we go back to our old ways where we're sitting back, running around that line with Caleb Rogers in there. He wasn't ready. He looks more ready than the other ones. We said this last week too. You know, with him in there, the line is holding a little bit more better now. Now, if we can get the full line back, you know, JPJ, Colton Miller, you don't know. We don't know. But Geno Smith, let's go into the offense. Okay, Geno Smith, well, whatever. Our rushing attack still has been not that great. Ashton Jetty only got 10 carries for 30 yards. Kenny Pickett had the scramble for 6. That was towards the end of the game. You saw that. You know, everyone's like, the betting, investigate the Raiders. And then Geno Smith had 1 for 4. Our receivers, you know, Jack Besh is starting to get more action. 6 receptions, 50 yards. Brock Bowers, they were able to give him 4 catches. Though they need to design more plays to get him involved. And I know they're over there. The defense is keening on him. And Surtain was on Bowers. Bowers is your number 1 receiver. You know, and Shedrick Jackson right there, pictured right there, the great nephew of Bo Jackson, his first career catch is an NFL touchdown. I mean, that came from Mr. Kenny Pickett. Asylum. Good chance that he's going to start. Now, I know I'm telling you, and I said this, I keep saying this since the offseason. I feel like we're reliving again 2024 and 2025. We're in the same situation, the same spot, the same, should we win? Should we lose? If we win, it's been in his games. If we lose, we get to go whatever. Kenny Pickett starts, we got a better chance against the Eagles.
I'm going to say, like I said last year, I don't give a fuck about the draft spot. I definitely don't want that number 1 spot. Let's just see what we got. Okay? Right now is our chance to prove that Geno Smith is the problem and getting a win against the Eagles would help show that. Okay? If we're going to be getting a new head coach anyways, fingers crossed, you know, because in all honesty, do you trust Pete Carroll and Spytek with the number 1 or 2 spot? Let alone if they draft him, do you expect Pete Carroll to play the motherfucker? He's not ready. He's not ready. Okay, so when it comes down to it, let's see what we got. If we get some wins, we are choosing within the top 5, most likely. Okay, we could possibly even be, you know, not saying we're going to win out, but, you know, let's say that happened and it drops us back to where we were, last year in 6? Okay,
yes.
You end up with that number 1 and number 2 spot, trade it the fuck away, get some more picks, and pick the positions you need. And everyone's talking about QBs, but there's a big thing being talked about is the QBs this year, they're not there. You want the QBs next year. So everyone who wants that number 1 so we get a QB, we want the QB choice next year. Let's stack some picks, possibly trade up for what we're going to need. Exactly. The roster needs help everywhere. So let's get the top talent in the positions. Offensive line, you know, linebackers, cornerbacks.
So Demon King.
Definitely not tight end. I think we're pretty good there. But, you know, I mean, you know, wide receivers, if that's what we feel we need. But let's start filling these gaps and start getting those depth pieces that we need so bad.
Yes. And I see, you know, if you trade back, and I'd say the Raiders do get number 1 or number 2, you trade back, you can get more draft picks. Maybe like, okay, I'll give you this number 1 if you give me the number 1 for next year, because I don't have it on there because I stopped at 8. But I think the 9th pick is I forgot what team it was, but it doesn't go to them. It goes to the Rams. So the Rams have that first round pick. I forgot who it was, but the Rams hold the rights to that pick.
Titans,
so
right, or the Jets?
Huh?
Titans or Jets?
No,
right?
not the Jets. No, because they're both up here. It's another losing team. I forgot who it was, but they hold the rights to that. So yeah, you trade back. I was trying to take it off. You trade back. Give me some number 1s for next year. Okay. So even, and I'm not saying, okay, let's wait till next year. We're going to tank one more year, 2026. We're going to tank to get whoever. But like you said, trade back. No. I'm saying, because everybody like, so you want us to tank for it? No. That's why we trade back draft picks. Okay, I'll trade you. Give me next year's pick then. Give me your next year's first round pick and then a couple whatever, you know. But I want that first round. Okay, they can have a bad season. Now you're up there. You can start winning now, but you have their pick if they're losing because they're desperate for a quarterback. So they're going to have some quarterback issues if they're trying to get up there. You know, I'm just saying, you know. So that could be right
and not to mention, look at it like this. Y'all want that quarterback. We're talking about next year. Well, if we get a new head coach, we know the next year is probably going to suck, right? We are going to be in a similar situation. So now you put yourself in a better position to get the better quality quarterbacks next year that are coming out. Whether it is having draft picks to be able to trade up, or, you know, you might only win 2 or 3 games next year and be right back in this situation with the head coach who's going to have his time to build his team to get the guy that he wants.
Vincent says, I want them to trade down. You have
I've been saying
Demon
that
King
for the last 3 years, Vincent.
And Demon King, which we will set something up to put Demon King because Demon King knows he has his own segment on the show called The Draft Demon King, The Draft King. So we did it last year, and Demon King brought some facts. He brought some college perspective. He could say, oh, yeah, this guy is fast. This guy is this guy can catch. This guy can throw. This guy can run. So I can't wait till we do that, set that up. Demon King knows. He goes, let me know.
You know what? It'll probably start happening before the season even ends. So be ready, Demon King, because if we're not doing interviews, we're probably going to start talking about future plans and everything else, because I'm tired of talking about this Raiders team right now.
Yeah. So looking at this game though, okay. We got to still kind of go through all this. We got Geno Smith, of course, started the game, of course. 13 for 21, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, 61.9 completion percentage, passing yards average 5.5, sacks, lost yards, 3 sacks, lost 19, 92.6 pass rating, 54.2. Not bad numbers, but not the numbers every year, for how much you're getting paid. Should be better.
He's getting paid the big bucks. He lets everybody know it.
Is getting paid the big bucks. Let's see, NCAA screwed my Irish. I'm done with football. And then it's funny still, Asylum. Geno Smith. If I don't know what's gonna happen. He got the shoulder injury, but he's still tied with the league in interceptions with Tua.
He doesn't even have to play a full game, and he can't get out of this category.
So now we're going to go back to Kenny Pickett's numbers. Okay, Kenny Pickett came in the start of the third quarter. I'm sorry, end of the third quarter.
End of the third quarter.
Very end of the third quarter. 8 for 11, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Of course, he came in and it was third down. He got the pass to Besh, and then the next one he tried to force it into Bowers in the end zone. But he came in at third down. So comes back the next drive, makes a couple first downs, and then there was that nice pass. I saw him see him in that nice pass he threw to Jackson where he led the receiver, and it just it was a confident throw. It was a beautiful throw. He stood back there and he surveyed the field. Looking at his number, 72.7
down his receiver.
They didn't stare down his receiver. And I know people are gonna be like, well, no one, they didn't. They wasn't expecting Geno Smith to bench. Even Kenny Pickett, after Geno Smith got hurt with the fingers, he was all like, wait, do I warm up? Because usually I warm up and then you guys say, no, never mind. He's going back out there. We duct tape his leg together. We got him all, we put the we put the
bubble gum, we put it in the spot. We're ready to go.
That's why Pete Carroll's chewing bubble gum just in case he has to use it just to patch up Geno Smith to throw him back out there. So of course, the Broncos didn't have nothing on Kenny Pickett. Was able to do whatever. But the one thing you saw different of Kenny Pickett was the fact that he was more mobile than Geno Smith, especially with this offensive line. He was able to move around. He was able to make plays on his feet, what we thought we were going to get with Geno Smith. So let's look at that right here. It's just plays. I have to use this one so we don't get shut down. But here's Kenny Pickett. Maybe corny, but we need a little corny. And I know what you mean. I saw some of his post game. He's like and I'm not, people are going to be mad. Derek Carr, we don't want a Derek Carr. People now want a Derek Carr because of what we got after Derek Carr. But he's a team guy. He praises praises God. He praises his teammates for without them, he is not where he's at. So I don't mind that. Just like Jerry said, just make plays. I don't care, whatever. Just go out there, make the plays, do what you gotta do to win. And you see Kenny Pickett right here. Not right there. He got sacked right there. But these are all his snaps when he came in. And he's moving around the pocket. He's making sure, to buy more time to look for the open receiver. And this one, the defense for the Broncos, they have a pretty good passing defense. So you're not going to really find too many open guys. But you take what the defense gives you, and that's what he's doing. So many times you would see Janty in the middle of the field, wide open, no one sees him, and Geno Smith sits back there, and he runs around, and then he gets sacked. We got another Minshew. That's what that was. Another Minshew running in circles. Though I believe Minshew had it worse last year. So Kenny Pickett, a spark.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say Minshew didn't have to deal with Brendan Carroll as his offensive line coach. So
he eventually got they fired the original guy and they eventually got what's his name? Philbin. Yeah. I was like, Uncle Phil. No. Dr. Philbin. So I mean, right now he's slated. He's right now is gonna be the quarterback going forward. Though in Pete Carroll's press conference, he said, well, we're taking it day by day with Geno Smith. We're trying to see, where we're trying to make sure the throwing shoulder stays on and make sure that Are you rolling dice there? Are you playing Yahtzee Asylum? Is that what you're doing?
Sure, you can call it that.
I don't know what that means.
You know exactly what that means. I'm like a Demon King here, though. I don't know much about Mendoza. I'll look into him to go for that part. But the OC from the Rams is head coach and Rob Leonard is DC. Because we know Patrick Graham is probably gone.
Patrick Graham's probably gone. Well, 99.9% sure. And you want to look at the first time head coaches as possible to come in.
I'm liking that one just because, But the key to that, you have to give the guy 5 years to get this shit turned around.
Well, I mean, you think if a new head coach comes in, and let's say we do have number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever, that most likely he is going to want to pick his guy. That's what Sean Payton was able to do. Now Ben Johnson inherited Caleb Williams, but he saw him in the division when he was with the Lions, and it was only 1 year missing. So he came in the second year and he turned that offense around with that quarterback. So if we're going to get a new head coach, most likely we're going to probably get a quarterback in the draft.
Even if he does it in 3, you still have to give him the 3. You still have to go through the bad 2 years.
The growing pains.
Being absolutely garbage because he's stuck with what he's got. The next year being just as bad, if not even worse, because he's now dumped everybody that he didn't want and is slowly bringing in his guys. I'm not against it. I'm just saying you have to give him his chance to go. And even if it sneaks into year 4, right? Let's say year 3 is okay. I can kind of see what he's doing. You have to give him that 3 or 4 years. You have to just get rid of Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll does not have enough time on this old bones of his. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, well, let me ask you this right here. It's in the comments right here. Good pick it.
Daniel Jones.
That says Daniel Jones.
To be honest with you, nobody expected Sam Darnold to do what he did until he went to Minnesota.
True.
Nobody expected Daniel Jones to be able to do what he was doing with Indianapolis. In the right system, with the right coach.
Mac Jones with the Niners when he had to step in for Purdy.
Yeah, Mac Jones there too. There you go. In the right system with the right coaches, the possibility is there. I'm not going to say definitive percentage, but the possibility could be there under the right system.
Yeah. And that's the argument that we keep trying to have here on the Cage Match is that if you come in and bring a brand new coach, not a retread, because McDaniels was a retread. I don't care if it was 10 years or whatever it was between the two organizations, Broncos, then he came to the Raiders, whatever, how long it was. I don't care. You give me a new guy, I'm a new head coach, whatever. Okay, we can accept the growing pains because we know new head coach, and then he's probably going to get, let's say hypothetically speaking, he gets a new quarterback. I'd rather us learn to win with a rookie quarterback than lose when we're expected to win with a veteran quarterback, because that's what we thought we were going to get, not that we're going to go in the division. The division was, for the most part, wide open because the Chiefs, as you see, 6-7. I keep hearing that all throughout the last month, so it's stuck in my head. 6-7. As you see, the Chiefs lost They're not going to be the crown for this year. It's like the first in 9 years. The crown is taken away. Chiefs Kingdom is done.
I work at a certain job right now.
Yeah, because you're right outside Chiefs Kingdom. You're watching it crumble down to the ground. Okay.
I know, but all I heard was 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, motherfuckers. How many is it this year? I wish I might still have to send that email. I still have those names in my phones. They might be getting a message.
Well, this division, I mean, for the most part, it was open for the taking, and we had a veteran coach, Pete Carroll, and we traded for a veteran quarterback, Geno Smith, and now if Pete Carroll, forget the age, okay, forget the age. If Pete Carroll was football team first, then his ties second, then okay. Because we were going to give AP a second chance. You know what? He learned, and that's why I say, hey, it was bad, but look what he had. Now, let's just give him a second year to learn his mistakes. Now, take the training wheels off and go out there for a new season. That didn't happen. You brought Pete Carroll in.
Why do we care about the draft pick? What's the matter if we're 1, 2, or 3? When it comes down to the more important things are being the head coach situation, your quarterback situation, everything else like that. As long as you keep Pete Carroll, having the number 1 pick don't matter because Geno Smith's still going to be your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So having the 1, the 2, or the 3 right now don't matter because right now we have to assume until it happens that Pete Carroll is going to be the head coach. Until that changes, I can give a flying fuck about where we draft.
Yeah, because we still not saying he's ready, but what's his name again?
Cam Miller?
Cam Miller, I almost said Cam Ward. He's not on the Raiders yet, though rumors are saying if the Titans are ready to trade him.
Said, Anthony Richardson, I'm with you on the whole thing. If we're going to go through quarterback woes, let's either pick one of the 2 young guys we have on the team. We know our choice. But one of the 2 young guys on the team, draft another quarterback if that's going to be the plan. I mean, keep hearing Mendoza. I'm all for it. It's close enough to my name. I'll go buy that jersey if he fucking makes the team. I mean, I'm all for that. Whether it's moving on from what we got, I'm with you on that one. But it's going to start. And it has to start with getting rid of Pete Carroll.
Yeah. And that's if Pete Carroll was the football team first, I'm like, what? I don't care. He was, set the team up and then pass it along. Whatever was scrapped this year. But the constant, like you're not seeing that Geno Smith is not playing good. Throw someone out there who's I don't care at the offensive line. You've seen Kenny Pickett is mobile. He can move around. Why would you trade for him if we're not going to use him? Talk about Kenny Pickett. So Pete's his decision making on his coaches, his personnel, the starting lineup. Oh, Caleb Rogers isn't ready. And you see he's the only one that can, when he's pass blocking, he's watching this guy. He has a hand on this guy, but he's watching for the delayed blitz. He's looking around.
Yeah.
You don't see the other offensive lineman doing that.
But remember, we were told he wasn't ready.
I know, and it's like I'm saying is Pete Carroll, you fired the special teams coach. Okay. You fired the offensive coordinator. Okay. The offense don't go anywhere without the offensive line. Who's coaching that one?
I would agree with you 100% on that, but I'm going to disagree with you partly because, the Hall of Fame head coach we got is not even trying to do anything to see anything. Again, sticking with Geno Smith, when obviously it's clearer than day he's not the answer, but he refuses He fires 2 of his assistants, but keeps the worst assistant on the team.
Nepotism.
And then I'm not saying that they're going to be here and that's going to be the reality. I'm in reality. If AOC leaves, he leaves. I know Pickett's not the answer for us. But if you give the head coach the leeway of saying you have these quarterbacks to choose from, you got the draft, but we're not going to trade, we're not going to go this veteran route, then they might be willing to come in.
I am ready. Let you know, because the veteran route, and I mean like veteran, like guys like Geno Smith, these guys trying to come in, the Jimmy Garoppolo is trying to come in 10 years in the league, and I'm going to turn around. No. Okay, that's Band-Aid. Just blow it all up. Give me a new head coach and give me a young quarterback, and let's grow together and just go from there. Because the retread and you can say with McDaniels, whatever, and I know none of us like McDaniels, and now he's over here in New England, and look what Drake May, whatever.
As long as Pete Carroll's the head coach, he will. As long as Pete Carroll is head coach, Geno Smith, okay.
Unless he retires.
I agree with you 100% then.
Unless he retires. Because I don't know. They say, all right, Vincent, they say, Geno Smith don't want to be here anymore. Yeah, we can tell he doesn't want to be here anymore. But it has to be either Geno Smith says, no, I'm retiring. I don't want to do this no more. Or trade me out. I'm sorry, coach. Trade me out. I can't do this no more. I want to do it. Then
as long as Daddy Pete's cock's in his mouth, he's gonna continue to go out there and try to do what he does.
Well, there was an interesting I would say excerpt, whatever, in his press conference after the game, because they asked him about the Bronco fans, because Pete Carroll said in the beginning of the season, oh no, we're going to get this thing going. I'm used to winning at least 10 games a season from what I did in USC and then with the Seahawks. We're going to do this, whatever. We're going to try to get the fans in here, try to turn this around. And now you see each game, because we're tired of seeing the same, like the decisions that they're making, that they're doing. We're getting tired of it. So this last game, seeing it all orange. Pete Carroll was asked about this, and this has kind of been going around social media and all that. So let's play this clip right here about being with us, Raider Nation.
Pete, you're probably not used to opposing teams' fans kind of taking over stadiums like they have. There's a lot of orange out there tonight. How disappointing is that to you? And how much does it motivate you guys to want to get that turned around?
Yeah, well, I had these thoughts coming into this one, waiting to see what it looked like, and there's a lot of orange in the stadium for real. What I would, I wish I would have started it earlier, because this connection between us and our fans is crucial to us being successful. And if you think about what we had in Seattle and what we had in the Coliseum, we had huge crowds in our favor. And I understand that, everybody wants to come to Vegas and all that, and so that it's a hot ticket for people to come. And so I'm sure that those that own tickets, are challenged by how they do it. But if we're going to do this, we have to do it together, and we're going to need the fans to support us. I know we got to get them something to cheer about and all that, and be fired up, because they, part of this whole experience is about the joy that you get from following your team and supporting them and all. So it's going to take some time to do that, but. When they're here, and this is a great stadium to play in, it's a great event to watch a game, for our fans. I just hope that we can earn their way into it, and so it's frustrating. But I'm not faulting them. They got to see it happen. It's well before I got here. This has been around. So, but I would like them. And here's the thought. I would like them to be here when it turns, and so that they could be part of it, and they could have their role in it, and be connected to us, and they'll kind of have wished they did, and when it does. And so with the forward thought, I hope we can do this together.
Pete, you talk about playing for pride, but you've also said you thought you were close these last several weeks, but it hasn't translated to wins. Do you still think you're close?
Yeah, but it is. It is close. Look, the game was 14-7. They had a punt return, and we're there. We just need our next drive to get in there. I mean, we're holding it together, and really the conscience of the team on the field, they're holding it together. They're working their ass off to make the next play, thinking it's going to turn. We have a surprisingly positive attitude about it. Well, I don't know. That's part of our culture, and it's part of the expectation of how we operate. But it's there, and so. And that's what we talked about in the locker room after the game. And so it's how we show up on Monday and go to work on Wednesday and take the next step together. These guys want to do that. And so hopefully the fans will hang with that and wait it out, but be there when it turns is what I would like to see.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Do you mean the two what? The two what? You? What's a you? What's a you? If you're an OG, you know that line. What's a you?
What's a you?
What's a you? You know the two Utes. What is a you? Marissa told me.
I'm tired of hearing that. I just had to hit it a little early. Then we like, no, we should finish it.
All right, Asylum, you heard that. It's going around social media. What do you got to say about Pete Carroll and this? You got to, be with us.
Come on. Now I want them to be here when we turn it around. You ain't giving us any reason to fucking be here as long as you keep starting Geno fucking Smith. As long as Brendan Carroll is the offensive line coach. Oh, by the way, the run game coordinator. Okay? Get your hands out of the fucking offense. Get it out of the defense. Be a fucking head coach. Make the hard decisions. I know Peggy was asking, how do you, I guess I'm just an asshole, because I guarantee if I was in that situation and my son was fucking up his job, his ass would be fired.
It's the NFL. Business. It's the NFL. There's only 32 jobs of each one.
Yeah. I saw
Michigan.
It's just, and it's going to end up costing you. People talking about, he's a Hall of Fame head coach. Okay, great. But you know what? Every head coach, there are head coaches out there that should have stepped away a lot earlier than they did, just like players. When the game is over for you, the game is over. It's the same thing in head coaching. I just saw Joe Biden. What? Reminds me. I don't know why. But I mean, he makes every excuse in the book. Now he's trying to throw it on Raiders fans.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Your quarterback's a piece of shit, has a person and has a player.
Yeah.
You keep putting your hands in everything and it ain't working. Teams are watching your 2023 year of coaching because your scheme is the same as it was in 2023. There is no change.
Yeah, and football is like technology. It's constantly evolving, And that's why I said, I remember in preseason when the Raiders were doing the practice with the Niners before the actual preseason game, a kid was all like, oh, yeah, we were looking at 2015 tape. It's the same coverages. Why are we doing stuff from 10 years ago? That's like Art Shell bringing in Tom Walsh, and they're running the same offense from the early 90s, bed and breakfast. People forget who his name was. It's called bed and breakfast. I remember it was Tom Walsh because it's like Bill Walsh's little brother who didn't learn offense. That's how it's messed up. I don't know. Their offense part was probably good, when they had Hostetler, and then when they had that's the only one I know. You had those other ones, but they didn't do all great. Mike Evans and all those guys. Mark Evans, Mark Wilson. I'm sorry. I know Evans is right. I just forgot. Yeah. Anyways, but it's out of date. And like how many people, how many teams you still run the Tampa 2 from 20 years ago? There's different variations, but it's not the actual pure Tampa 22.
I mean, you have to evolve. This was what's happening here is the same bitch that everyone had for Gruden. right? You know, the game's passed you by. This game has passed them by. I get you want to stay coaching. I get it helps you feel young. Stay young, live to 100 years old. I'm all for that shit. But find a new role in NFL. I mean, Mitchell Wentz said his ass could go sit in the goddamn corner and lollipop. If that works, then fucking do it. There's a reason why Seattle did what they did with them and took them away from head coaching. And it's showing. It showed in 2023, and it's showing now. You know, plain and simple. You're done as a head coach. You know, you wanted a legacy. I get it. You thought you were going to come in here, take AP's team, and turn it around and prove, you know, experience is better than what you had with AP. Obviously, you showed the opposite.
And it's not like, you know, we weren't. I mean, I know when we did our schedule show, I had 11 wins, you had 10. But it's more so of the decision making. Yeah, and it's more so on the decision making. Like we just said it. The personnel decisions, the coaching decisions, the players who's going to play on the field when it's time to go. You didn't have the best 5 guys on the offensive line playing, you know, and whether it works or not,
or even in the right positions.
Yes, I was just going to say, you know, I know the JPJ argument can go back and forth with guard or center, but regardless, I mean, Meredith, I liked Meredith at guard. I know he's smaller, but the interior, especially the interior offensive linemen, they need to be nasty. They need to go out there and have an attitude like Rodney Hudson, you know, like Incognito. Okay, those guys, you know, you didn't mess with them. Okay, and now you got.
Let's bring in the rookie on here, right? Isn't he not nasty enough?
Yeah, and he's smart too.
He wasn't ready, and yet in last week's game, he was the best offensive lineman in the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
Pete Carroll, Brandon Carroll, and whoever the fuck else is up his ass are fucking telling us lies. They're not seeing what they need to be seeing.
Hey, you remember in the original first Naked Gun when Leslie Nielsen they were at the the guy who makes the gadgets, and they're like, take a look at this clue right here, and then he goes in there. Leslie Nielsen looks into the microscope and he goes, I don't see anything. And then his partner goes, open your other eye, Frank. Oh, that's Pete Carroll. It's black. Open your other eye, Frank. Open your other eye, Pete. Oh,
it's fucking fitting.
That's how it's been. That's how it's been. And before we move on, see now I wish I would have had it up. Let me put it up real quick, because you know I had the reference on that. Just never had a moment to put it up there, but I'm gonna put it up there right now. But yeah, I mean, and it's more so. It's not necessarily the wins. Yes, you want to win every game. You want to win every year. You know, a new head coach. We want to turn around like a lot of these other coaches. These teams had first year head coach, and they're making noise to go into the playoffs. But it's just the way we're losing.
No, it's not even the way you're losing. It's like you said earlier, the decisions and the bullshit that's being spewed out to us.
Mm-hmm.
You have a rookie, and I get he's a rookie. Glaze played well his rookie year. But you're telling us he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. And then he comes out and fucking, I mean, you couldn't ask anything better. You were breaking down the film, talking about how he's doing everything right. Okay? Jerry was talking about, the fundamentals, which this offensive lineman is doing. But the fundamentals of coaching, Pete Carroll's not. And the nepotism. And I give a fuck that his son's on the team and shit. But if he's not performing, you fire him. If your players are not performing, you bench him. And he refuses because you know what? I'm going to prove just like Al Davis did. I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm going to do it my way and prove that I was right. Even at the end of Al Davis's life, that bit us in the ass.
And this is what we have right now. That is what we have right now. This is when Chip Kelly was still. That's supposed to be Chip Kelly, his partner right there. Okay, and of course we all know who Geno Smith is. So this is what we have now. Okay, we have the cast of the original Naked Gun. Rest in peace, Leslie Nielsen, the legend. I'd rather Leslie Nielsen coach the team than Pete Carroll. But you know they kind of look alike. They got the same white hair, the same little the thing in the hair.
I could do a better job.
I'm not trying to make fun of. I'm just saying that's what I see. That's what I see. When he's up on the podium, that's what I see. Is him giving a speech, you know, with just I don't know, rambling about whatever. So, anyways, enough of that because you know, Michigan. Why is Michigan is just getting it this today. And I know why. I've seen, but okay, Salem, I don't know why my board's not working, so I'm gonna need you to cue it up again. You are the DJ today. Let's close out the show with our cage match, our own cage match fantasy football. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need music too. So after because I can't get there. I only got the graphics. So one of the NFL primetime ones. I don't care. All right, here we go. We're gonna do. Oh, and I need you to also cue in the background. I can't move that then. Let's reset it. But
hold on, let me find it first.
The one with the belt. I can do this. I can do the camera angle.
I see it. Okay. The one that's not labeled. Okay, I got it.
Yes, like half of them. All right. Here we go. Let's go into our fantasy football minute. Here we go. Hit that intro and yeah. Hey, smooth transition. All right, Mom. Thank you very much. My mom says, great show. Good night, all. Love you, son. Thank you. Let me make sure I put that up there. All right. That's all I got. I can't move the things. Okay. Now let's look at the scores, okay, of our fantasy football. The ones who are in. Can you lower the music a little bit? Please.
Got it. Taking it off. Hold on. Give me a second. Got it.
No. I said lower it. I didn't say turn it off. There's a little knob, isn't there? There you go. All right. My song's back on the radio. All right. Raider Savage me. I just learned to foosball. My friend Edward. 129-78. And you got Matt TDs, the Rich Versace of the league. Almost came back, but Mean Machine Jeff, and I hope Jeff is feeling well. I saw that he was in the hospital, so Jeff, I hope you're feeling well. I think he's going live right now.
Yeah,
he's live right now, but you know, Jeff.
That's dedication.
Yeah, he went live from the bed, like, hey, I'm here. So there's no show tonight, but hey, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so I hope Jeff is doing well, but he beats You Got Mad TDs. The interim came in, team to the playoffs. That's pretty impressive. 152-130. So that means that the brackets are now updated. And I was afraid of this matchup because he killed me twice. And I'm not saying he beat me. He killed me twice already. Okay, it's third time's the charm in this one. I face Pig's Pig in the conference game, and because he had the bye week, so he was sitting. And you know what? Even in his bye week, he scored 149 points. So I was all like, okay, all right, let's stretch for this one. And then Mean Machine goes against Bang, bang, other gang, Arcadio.
Bang,
The
bang,
winner
gang.
goes. The winner goes to the winner's bracket next week, or after this week, going into next week, So let's look at the matchups. I am 43% to Pigs 57. I'm still scared though, because he has Gibbs. He had other guys. He had like 3 guys that went off for 20 points, 30 points, okay? So I'm the road team, and this is good. I'm the 1980 Raiders, okay? So speaking of, I'm the 80 Raiders right now, okay? Trying to get to the Super Bowl, okay? And Mean Machine goes against Arcadio. Jeff goes against Arcadio. Jeff is 44%. Arcadio is 56. Now I told Arcadio this. I said, it's well, actually, I said I might meet you in the Super Bowl, and he goes, yeah, it's destined to be. It's destined to be. So, Pigs Pig, our roster's going against a lot of top defenses. And that doesn't really fully give me a lot of confidence, Pigs Pig, okay? Because you already beat me. He's Pigs Pig, but I was the bacon, okay? I was the bacon. So
why aren't you showing the other side of shit, though? I thought you was going to do this whole thing for the losers bracket. We don't want nobody to feel left out. We don't want nobody to just give up and shit like that. But here you treat us like a redheaded stepchild.
Okay. We are the Raiders. We're used to being the redheaded stepchild.
But still, all that talk, Pete Carroll.
That is rude, okay? That is rude.
All that talk.
Listen here, Petey. Listen here, Petey. Your beard's passing you by. Okay. In the NIT. All right. Asylum is because you know why? Okay, because my sister ain't playing no more. My sister lost, and my girlfriend lost. So it's like Asylum plays Anna in this one, and then my sister plays against Jessica in the Consolation League. You got Matt TDs and Edward. They come down to the winner's consolation ladder, and they play each other. It's because I don't understand this, Asylum. How do you know the winner of the bottom? Are you still there?
Point right there.
Okay, I thought you
froze. The winner
froze.
of this of me and Anna, and the winner of Holy Roller and Raider Stitch are going to go into that top bracket right there, all the way to the right.
I see.
And then the other two will go into the lower bracket.
I'm nervous, Kay. I'm nervous. But wait, me and you got to figure out what we're gonna do. It has to be something worth, because I know the main prize is only down to the 4 now to try to claim it. But for those who are still trying and still a ring.
A ring says I'm a loser. No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone has injured players, and I don't play no more. I don't know. Ask me something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out something.
Yeah, we'll think on it and see if we can come up with something.
Yes. So that is your fantasy breakdown. Pigs Pig is trying to be very, no. I'm going against tough defenses. I'm still nervous.
To, lull you in to get complacent and turn around and not start somebody that you should have started.
I am nervous. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I am nervous because, like I said, Pigs Pig has the game was over. The game was over on Thursday. Okay, that's how bad it was. The game was over on Thursday. All right, so
been there, played those games.
We'll see what happens. You can call it to me now. We'll see what happens this week. with the fantasy, because that's all. Hey, that's all I got right now. Okay, because the Raiders, whatever. That's all I got right now. So we'll see what happens. You can cut out the music now. I can't get to it. Oh, G-Tech interviewed Chip Kelly. So Georgia Tech has talking to former Raiders coach for open OC job. Watch him have the number one offense in college football. Or maybe his offense is just made for college football. You never know.
Carroll fucking with his offense. You probably have a better quarterback than Geno Smith too.
Oh yeah, it's so great. It's so great. It's so great. All right, it's time. That is our show. We want to thank Jerry Robinson for coming on. And I know he has more stories, and we're going to get more stories. We want to get him back because there's more stories behind.
Oh, there's a
Dubby
shit
for second round winners. My mom, right here. Look it right there. Okay. You get the Dubby for getting the dub in the NIT. We'll figure it out because we call the belt right now. I've called it the W belt because we don't really have like a Lombardi or whatever. No one's winning it, so it's called the W belt. And the Royal Fumble. But
yeah.
Any last words, Asylum, on the show or anything?
No, it was fun. Thank you for Jerry Robinson for coming on.
Yes.
Chatting with us for an hour. Wish we had him for the whole time, but you know what? In the future.
Oh yeah.
I'll wear him down. I'll get him back on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when we talked to him yesterday, we're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Now we want more. We want more. Anyways, all right. We want to thank everybody for watching the show. We had good numbers today. And for those, I want to put a poll out there because we're gonna not reinvent the show, but we just kind of want to see what our cult followers. I'm gonna call our cult followers our main ones. You know, the ones that's been there from day one, and even the new ones that found us. You know, because we're not up there big yet. We're close to 400. We're almost. You know, we're climbing. The little show that could. So we appreciate those who've been there from the beginning. We appreciate those who found us and stuck around and watch us and all the crazy stuff we do and all this whatever. So eventually, not yes. Oh, find a way or by the way?
No, 5 away.
Oh, 5 away. I thought you said by the way. I said what? 5 away. Yes, 395.
Get excited for once, God damn it! Yeah, you're Pete Carroll. That's your new name. You're no longer Oakland Raiders Savage. You are now Pete Carroll.
You are now on. I don't know. We're taking your keys away. You no longer can drive. Okay. But yes. We're going to put a poll out there on what segments you guys like the best, which we should keep doing every week. Because we try to switch it up. You know, we don't want to have the show be stale, but we want to know what segments you guys like. Of course, I believe CMN is the top one. Because it keeps changing every week. You know, that crazy guy, Silent Burgundy. You don't know what he's going to do every week. So eventually when we kind of... Yes. So until then, we want to thank you guys. We're going to be back on Friday and talk about the Eagles game. Duh. The Eagles game.
The Eagles.
Yes.
We're going to win that game. It's going to kick it starting. Or maybe AOC. We don't know yet.
Oh, that's crazy how we had Jerry Robinson, who was drafted by the Eagles, and we're going to play the Eagles this week. Is that a good omen? Is that a bad? Do you want them to lose? Do you want them to win? I don't know. We never know. All right, everybody. We'll find out. We'll be back on Friday on 4 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Central. 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, where we break down the numbers. 7
o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern.
4.
Oh, tomorrow? I'm sorry, Friday.
No, tomorrow.
Friday.
You're Pete Carroll, okay?
Yeah,
you're Pete Carroll.
I'm having a bite of
We're all Pete Carroll. Come follow us. Be there when we turn around.
I'm having a
Take
Biden
care.
moment. My bad.
Let's go, Brandon. Take care, everybody. And yeah, we end every show like we always do with a word from Coach Wallace, my coach from high school, aka Raider Milt. If you know Raider Milt, he was at the Coliseum in the tailgates and on the visiting side, which he called throwing grenades at the opposing bench. They turned around and talked to him. He goes, "Why are you looking at me for? The field's over there." So we keep his memory alive. And yes, so take care, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you, Jay Robertson. And also happy early birthday to Jay Robertson, December 18th, like my sister. So yes, take care, everybody. Have a good night. And we'll see you on Friday. Oh, yeah. Dig it.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight again. I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.